Pacific Coffee Company. I'll tell you how the bar came about. A couple buddies of mine owned a coffee company, the Commercial Drive Coffee Company. They started it in 2010, I think, 2009 or 2010. Did it for a bunch of years. They got into retail and they're selling products, etc. But the idea was when it came into about 2015, 2016, 2015, I think, the idea was you got Commercial Drive Coffee Company. Mm-hmm. Kind of makes sense that you might want to have a location ultimately on Commercial Drive.
Yeah.
Right? Logical, right?
Yeah.
So the purpose of the bar was really more of a marketing arm to the coffee company. So that the coffee company actually had roots on the streets that it was named for.
Yeah.
Right? And the group of guys who own it are mostly Italian. Okay. So the whole idea of the coffee company was trying to get coffee back to the way we remembered it, or they remembered it when they were traveling through Europe or in the house.
Awesome.
Because what happened in the city, and this is going to it's going to sound like a slight, but it's not. When Starbucks came in to the city, you went from diner type of coffee, like, you know, if you went to like a typical diner cafe, that type of brown water,
yeah,
to a very, very strong cup of coffee. To me, it's just over roasted, burnt, but we'll just go with strong coffee.
Sure.
The city started really moving that way, Seattle, Vancouver, and coffee now was starting to take a hit, starting to go crazy, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of young guys in the city, I guess, figured out that we can either go head to head with Starbucks, but going against a multinational is going to be interesting on a good day, or they could go down and change a bit of the coffee profile. So you get the Artigianos and the Prados and the 49ths, etc., which typically, to me, are a much more acidic, citrusy type of coffee, which I personally don't like. Mm-hmm. Right? So when the guys, I was a buyer at London Drugs for years, and I was buying the coffee categories. They came to me and said, listen, we want to develop a coffee. What do you think would be a cool play? I said, well, you've got the traditional crap, the Folgers, the MJBs, the Maxwell Houses, which are just colored water, which our folks probably all liked because it was cheap. Then you had this whole new group of people coming into like a Starbucks, heavy, dark, burnt roast. And then you had this whole new trend of this citrus, acidic type. I said, really, what's missing is that old school, just mellow, easy drinking, but not colored water coffee. So the idea was to have something kind of in that pocket. So that's what that started. So that the coffee company started from that. The bar came about 6-7 years later, and the bar was an extension of the brand to have a marketing outlet where you could push the coffee. The premise of the bar was, if it's going to be on the drive, it needed to be very much community friendly focused. It was going to be a hangout, and not necessarily for all our East Van buddies so that it became a free-for-all or a shit show. It was about having just a really cool place if people wanted to come in, hang out, if you wanted to come in and work like in this space, or if you wanted to have a coffee with friends, whatever. That was the whole intent. Hence the artists on the walls. Yeah. We do an open mic night. We have a story. It's called Story Live or Story Drive, and it's a storytelling event where you pick out the liar.
Oh, that's
Or you pick out the one that's not lying with 3 liars. Morning, Joe.
You should have shaved, you know that.
I'm gonna next week. I gotta save money for razors.
Yeah, there you go.
Money isn't growing trees, eh?
Here's another violin.
I have no money.
Another violin for my...
See, and that's what you get.
Money.
See?
like everybody's on a first name basis.
Retired 45.
Okay.
Got no money.
$50. See, this is what you get. See?
Yeah.
So you get chirping in the bar. But that's the fun of the bar.
That's like,
So he's
you
our
guys
neighbor.
are all friends. Like,
And he's Cranky Pants. That's what the kids call him, Joe Cranky Pants, right? Even when I walk down our street, I mean, there's so many coffee alternatives on this street. JJ's on this street, Prado, Cafe Roma, Turks, Renzo's, Moja's. What the fuck are you going to Starbucks and Tim Hortons for? Like, seriously?
I know.
You've got so many people on this street, local people, local coffees.
Like,
And you're going to go to a
authentic
multinational?
To me, I think like your coffee shop, and I've been to
Everybody,
Artigiano,
all these, everybody,
they're really
these are
authentic.
local people.
Yeah.
They're all from here.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go support a multinational on a street like this. To me, that's insanity.
Yeah.
I think the most satisfying thing is basically, I mean, when someone asks, you know, if someone asks me what do I do, like I spend the least amount of time here in the bar out of all the businesses I do.
Right.
But it's the one I love the most. I just love the fact that we have a coffee bar on Commercial Drive. We own the coffee company that owns the bar. We're licensed. Come on, selling booze, wine, beer, coffee. It's awesome. I think, I don't know, I think that's what it is. And then if you look at it from the satisfying part too, is that we because we're a small business, we employ. We've got we've got kids that work for us. We've got people in the neighborhood. We've got so many good regulars. Like you saw Joe yelling at.
Yeah.
Yes, but we have so many regulars now that come in, and it's kind of like you create this sort of, it sounds so corny, but this safe spot
Yeah, no, it's
in the
true.
neighborhood where people can come and just hang out, and there's little worries. And if you want to come and bring your laptop and sit down for 3-4 hours, I mean, I'd rather you didn't, but if you want to, you can. And if you're going to do that, buy stuff, right? Like, buy stuff. It's a small business, buy stuff. If you're going to sit for 3-4 hours,
Yeah,
buy
of
stuff.
course,
Like,
you gotta buy
seriously.
something.
A cup of coffee ain't going to kill you every hour. A muffin, a donut, do something. There was a job, London Drugs had an ad in the paper. I applied. I got a job as a supervisor in the store, which I was going to do for 2 years and then go back to school. 2 years turned into 26. At 50, after working in the stores for London Drugs for 9 years, I went into the office as a merchandise manager, so I bought a whole bunch of categories. I got to travel all over the world. Did a lot of really cool things, but after 26 years, I figured, I was turning 50, and I thought, it's a good gig, it's a great company, great people, all good in the hood, but in 10 years, if I'm sitting behind this desk still, and I never tried anything different, like, how much regret am I going to have that I didn't just give it a shot? Right, so I quit a really good paying job with good benefits and good everything to see what would happen. Right, but it's fun, right? That's why I tell you, like, at the end of the day, if you don't know what you're going to do at 26 or 21, you got a lot of time. At 52, I don't really know what I want to end up doing by the time I hit 60. I mean, I can morph into 300 different things. Who knows now?
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is once you just start doing stuff, it clicks.
Yeah.
It'll just click. And I'm having fun now too, which is nice, right? And I get to do stuff like this.
That's awesome. I think it's really important to, like, I mean, people like you and I want to do things that we enjoy
Totally.
for the rest of our lives, where other people are content and they're happy and they're secure.
If that was what makes you happy, though, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
To me, the problem with that mentality, that is, because I'm much older than you, but that would be definitively my folks and probably your grandparents' view of life. You got a job, you did what the boss said,
Yeah.
you stay for 40 years,
Yeah.
you get your pension,
Yeah.
and then you retire, and then you start living. And you're thinking, well, at 65, my knees are screwed, my back is sore, I don't know what other ailments I have, I'm tired all the time. Like, I'm going to start living now?
That sounds so depressing to me.
It is depressing. That's why you should retire at 26 and start working at 65. So you travel and do all the fun things when
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
and when you can't, do much work.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way, though.
It doesn't work that way, no.
You kind of need the money to pay for the front end, but that's why, like,
Yeah.
have the fun. Like, don't get, if you don't like what you're doing, don't do it.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Like, right now, I have never been happier with what I do ever. And I was happy at LD, but not like this. Like, this is so much more fun. So much more fun. Bad to say, but it is almost like a hobby. It's also something we all wanted. I mean, I just think it's kind of cool to tell people you're on a coffee bar. It just, I don't know, to me it
No,
sounds
it's
cool.
cool. It really is.
Don't do it.